I practiced for 2 hours without touching the piano. Here's what happened. I had a recital in 3 weeks. I had mononucleosis and I hadn't sat at the piano in weeks. Everyone told me to cancel. Instead, I gave the best performance of my life. Today, I'm going to show you the invisible practice method that made that possible. I'm Robert Estrin. This is livingpianos.com. And I know what you're thinking. You think this is a story about pushing through illness and performing anyway. Well, it isn't. This is a story about discovering something I should have been doing my entire musical life. Something that almost nobody ever told me and almost nobody tells you. Brain researchers have discovered something remarkable. When you scan the brain of a pianist playing a Beethoven sonata, for example, and then scan the brain of a pianist simply imagining playing that same sonata, you can't tell the difference. It's the same neural pathways, the same motor activation. The brain doesn't know you're not at the piano. That means every minute you spend away from the instrument can count just as much as time with the keys. If, and this is a big if, you know how to do it, piano practice is fundamentally a mental activity. Yes, there's physiology involved, but the primary thing you are doing when you practice is training your mind. Think about what actually happens when you're learning a piece of music. You're building a map, a detailed, precise neural map of every note, every fingering, every dynamic, every shift, every phrase shape. Your fingers don't know the music. You know the music. The fingers just follow instructions, which means if you can sing the same instructions without the fingers in the room, the map still gets built. Tactile memory is like driving home on autopilot. You've done it 1,000 times. Your hands just know the turns. But what happens if there's a detour? What happens if a road is closed? Or if you're on autopilot, you crash? God forbid. Performance anxiety is that detour. If you don't have the mental map, the GPS of the piece, you're lost the second your hands lose their place. I discovered this the hard way. I was at the Manhattan School of Music and I'd been engaged to play a solo recital at our local library, a serious program. Then I came down with mono. I postponed it once, then again. Finally, I just decided I'm doing this, even though I could only sit at the piano for maybe an hour before I was completely spent. My program was 90 minutes of music. That math doesn't work. So I brought the scores to bed with me. I played through the music in my head, phrase by phrase, as vividly as I could. The library recital, performed after weeks away from the keyboard, was the best playing I had ever done in my life. I had spent a fraction of the time at the piano, and the results were staggering. That was the moment I understood the piano is just a feedback device. The music lives here. Let me show you concretely what this looks like. I'm going to play a short passage, play 8 to 16 bars of familiar work, and then I'm going to step away from the piano and play that same passage mentally. Watch the micro movements of my eyes and my fingers as I navigate the score. So now thinking that music through. The concentration this takes is enormous. I'm hearing the music in my head, imagining each finger depressing each key at exactly the sound that I want to create. I wish you could hear what I'm hearing in my head. That's the whole job, that to make what you hear in your head come out of the instrument. And that is part of the revelation. Now, that was a complete mental pass. The same passage, same attention without a piano. Did I really know it? Was every note precise? Most pianists, when they try this, discover something unsettling. There are sections that they can play perfectly at the keyboard and cannot get through mentally. That isn't a failure. That is the whole point. Think of mental practice as a stress test for your brain. If you can't play it in your head, you don't actually know it, not completely. You're just hoping your fingers remember. If you find a fuzzy spot, don't be frustrated, be happy. You just found the exact note that would have caused a memory slip on stage. Here's the method. Step 1, choose a piece you know by memory. Play it through mentally, full detail. Step 2, the moment you lose the thread, stop. Don't skip over it, don't guess. And you can check the score. Step 3, go back to the score. Find that passage, study it. Why does it go there? What is the harmony doing? Step 4, put the score down, try again from a measure or 2 before the trouble spot, and keep going until you can pass it cleanly. Then you might want to go back even further and pass that whole section. When you play the entire piece from beginning to end without a single gap, you will know that piece at a level you have never known any piece before. A significant portion of what we call performance anxiety comes from uncertainty. Some part of your mind isn't completely sure the music is there, and so it panics. When you have played through a piece through mentally so many times that it is as familiar as your own name, that uncertainty disappears, not just for one passage, for the whole piece. Before major performances, I have the music running constantly. In the car, in the morning. Those passages get mental attention so they are completely clear, and that preparation is worth more than another hour at the piano. Mental practice is not a supplement to real practice. It is real practice in some ways, the most powerful kind. I want you to do this tonight. Take one piece, sit somewhere quiet, no piano within reach, and play through it mentally and see how far you get. Notice where it gets fuzzy. Those are exactly the places to work on. The piano is an incredible instrument, but the music and the practice lives in your mind. I'm Robert Estrin at livingpianos.com. If you found this useful, there are many more videos on practice techniques, piano playing, and everything connected to the piano on this channel. Leave me a comment and tell me where your thread broke. Thanks for joining me. Look forward to seeing you next time.